Hey, welcome back for another episode of Rate My Base. So we are going to be attacking Elissa B. I believe that's how you pronounce that. So we're going in here. We're looking at the base layout first. We've never attacked this person before. So we go in, discuss about the little mini map here, see if anything stands out, discuss about these over here, and plan our attack accordingly and try and get as far as we possibly can without using scrolls in this series. So nothing really stands out too crazy about this. This looks like a pretty good solid base design. We just lost connection there. So we'll go back in, pull them up. You always want to make sure you put them in your favorites list. And you do that by clicking the star right there. So you can see nothing really stands out. Maybe if you move that barrier back one, you wouldn't be able to burn both of these at the same time. And other than that, it looks like a very solid job. I like this corner right here because your troops are all going to spawn right here, and then your mortars and your arblasters are going to start sitting back here and start attacking all the troops that are spawning out slowly. So that's a very good position because it's close to the the army camp tents, and it'll make your hero have to go all the way up here to get to there. And then same thing, I like this one up here. So once you get up to here, your troops again are going to get bombarded by mortars and arblasters. So this is a very solid base here. Good design of the road. The towers are all spread out. The only thing that might make this not as effective is that there's no firebolt towers here, and with that being said, you're relying completely on the troops to do massive amount of damage. The firebolt tower does tons and tons of damage, and it also burns the units. Don't be deceived that burning effect will do a lot of damage over time. And then you don't have any pyromancers in here as well, so maybe throwing a few pyromancers in here, and then obviously you're going to try and get a firebolt cannon. I believe you said you didn't have any of those yet, which is okay because they are very expensive, but they are definitely worth the price for the firebolt cannons. And you want to get one of those as soon as possible. Otherwise, this base looks very solid. So we're going to start off with 2 cannons. We should be able to attack that one because it should be on this side. But if not, everything's going to be attacking the barriers right there. So we're going to start off with 2 cannons and then a couple of knights. And the reason we're starting off with 2 cannons is because there's not troops and it's not a long walkway, so the cannons are going to spawn and they're going to shoot right away and destroy that barricade. So again, we have our spells. They are level 9, level 6, and level 5. And then the troops are level 7, level 2 for the cannon, and level 1 for the arblaster or the pyromancer. We're not going to use any pyromancers, but yeah, they're just there. So yeah, just cannons and knights. We probably will be able to actually be able to come very close to defeating this base. So let's go ahead and see if we can. Gonna bring out 2 cannons right away. Yeah, there's a gargoyle tower over here, which means the cannons are even more effective. So I should bring out 3 cannons there. Let my hero take care of these troops up here. Come here and try and burn everything I can. Coming back so I can watch this corner. And I'm waiting for another spawn of troops to come and sword rain them. I didn't get everything, but I got 1 extra arblaster. So that was definitely worth it a little bit. I'm going to have to come up here and rush as quick as possible to try and get to the corner down there so I can stop all my troops from dying. And so thankfully a lot of my cannons have survived. So I have to come back down there, kill them. I do need to heal though, so I'm going to have to sit back here and let my army just do work. Surprisingly enough, I still have 2 of my cannons alive up here, which is great for me. So I need to make sure I get all of the arblasters over there. I missed one. That's really, really bad. That's probably going to cost me one of my cannons, or maybe both of my cannons. So you see, I don't even have to really get that close to the arrow tower. You just got to get close enough so the firestorm radius touches it. And it has a fairly big area effect. So yeah, so it looks like we lost one of our cannons, so we have one left. And you see now we do have a big swarm of troops, but most of them are going to get destroyed here by the mortar. The mortar is extremely powerful, and then they're all going to die here to the gargoyle tower as well. So we're probably not going to be able to beat it. We do have a cannon left, which is good. We're going to be able to do some massive damage to the gates. So it would be really, really close here on damage to the gates, thanks to the cannon being alive. Oh, but the cannon's actually targeting the wrong thing, so we lost out because of his towers on the side. That's something you don't see very often. Normally the cannon will specifically target just the gate, but it actually, I don't know if one of the units pushed it aside because of the physics or what, but it actually is targeted onto the cannon on the left there, and it destroyed that rather than taking one last shot at the gate, which would have gotten us the victory there on the gate. So bad luck for us there, but all in all, the the attack raid there worked out pretty well for us. I could kind of feel that that's what's gonna happen. I was really surprised that the cannons actually survived. I got really lucky with his troops not targeting the cannons as much as they should have. Because of all of the little knights that were scattered around. So the arblasters only had a choice to attack one target, and then thankfully they only attacked the cannon a very few amount of times, and they took on the knights more. You can fix that issue by having a pyromancer or two in here, because the pyromancer does splash damage, and they'll almost be able to kill a cannon in one fireball. So adding one or two pyromancers to your waves. You don't need, like I said, one or two to all your waves total. You don't have to add a lot of them. You just add, swap two things out with two pyromancers, and you got a, very, very, very strong base there. It's good right now, just additions of the firebolt cannon, of course. And in this layout, there's not really a ideal spot for it. It will be good in several spots behind the barriers. But other than that, there's no specifics like you have to put it there, because you don't have that one curve where you can't reach it until you get to the other side. So just put a firebolt cannon behind one of the barriers anywhere. Typically, I like to put it those more to the beginning of the base, because they do massive amounts of damage, and you want to stop them as quick as possible, because in the beginning your opponent has an initial wave of troops, and you have to get rid of those guys as soon as possible. Once you take out the initial wave of troops, then now they're left with the little rinky-dinky army that's sending one or two knights at a time. But in the beginning, when you start a fight, you start off with like 10 bars of energy, so you can call out some big troops, call it a big army, and you have a nice little army to go and start your attack. So all in all, this is a very solid base here. The road design is great. Like I said, it's just the minor updates of updating things. The gargoyle tower over here serves a purpose against players that don't use cannons. But people that use cannons, they'll see that and they'll adjust their strategy and bring out a third cannon. So typically, I don't like it over there, but it does work against people that just spam a bunch of knights, because you won't be able to kill that cannon right that second. And if they do spam just tons and tons of knights, all the knights are going to get burned, and they're going to take massive amounts of damage. The only thing I would change is I would move this back one and probably move that tower back one, so that way you can't attack both these in the same corner. And that's the only things that I see that I would change. Otherwise, this is a really good design. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I was thinking about a 10 out of 10 because the road design is really good. You can't really fault people for not having advanced towers that cost millions of dollars. But yeah, adding a fireball tower would help, and then also upgrading your troops and upgrading your waves definitely would help. So there is a little bit of room for improvement there, and then adding a pyromancer and taking out maybe one arblaster or a couple of the archers. Those little things would make this a really good base, and I don't think many people would actually get past it without scrolling.